Okay, everyone, we are live, but we'll have to wait here if we need 2 more board members. We need 1 more board member. Hi, Ellen, how are you?
Hey, everybody.
Brenda, how are you? Okay, you look someplace warm.
You know what? I had to pretend today.
Okay, all right. You know, when you're perfectly still, those backgrounds look very clear, but when you move, then you can kind of tell it's not a...
Yeah. You gotta fake it till you make it sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. We have another meeting going on up at Cognizant. Mr. Rosted's out here visiting, but at 5 o'clock, which it is now, I think we'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. So Brenda, if you're ready to do that, we can go.
Yeah, I believe we have everybody here that we need. So let's go ahead and call the meeting to order. I believe we can go ahead and bypass the Pledge of Allegiance since we're doing this virtually. The preview of agenda, Miss Jody sent an update. So this agenda looks okay. Is there anything else that we need to address?
Not on my end. We have everything.
Okay. Then we can move on to the communications reports and presentations. Okay, so that would be you, Miss Raquel.
All right. Thank you guys for having me. As always, I just have a couple of things. So Dodea, we were part of their pilot program this school year. So Dodea offers a virtual high school to those Air Force installations that are remote. So Minot is certainly considered in that category. So they're going to continue this next school year. The Minot Public Schools high school counselors and the teams there, they've been briefed on this. So if there are any high school students for next school year looking in the future, if they were unable to get into a particular class that Dodea were to offer, they would be eligible for this program. They just need to get the paperwork through their guidance counselor and work it through their high school. So that is going to be available for next school year. The current board vacancies, I've had a couple of interested parties email me or call me, but I have not yet gotten any applications back. So I'm going to beat the pavement a little bit more. I have some spouses tour tomorrow that I'll talk with some new spouses about the availability of the positions. I'm going to talk with our shirts and a few other groups that I have briefings with in the next couple of weeks, and hopefully we'll get some interested candidates to actually apply to the position. So still working on that. And then finally, I know it's February here, but Month of the Military Child is in April. And so I have already started talking with the schools, and they're starting to make their plans, or the PTAs are. So some pertinent dates for Month of the Military Child. So the North Dakota official Purple Up Day is going to be 22 April. Typically it's held on April 15th, but with that being Good Friday and schools being out, not an ideal day for us. So 22 April will be our Purple Up Day. And then working with the schools and some base agencies and on base, we're going to hold our Spirit Week. And that's going to be 18 April through 22 April. So the final day, that Friday, is the Purple Up Day. And that is all I have, pending any questions.
Madam President, if I could just add, we will not meet next month, so it gives us a little more time to do what we need to get accomplished with hopefully finding some board members, because after Branda is done tonight, then that we're down to just 3 active board members, which means it would be very hard to find a quorum. So, but we'll have a little bit of time, and then whatever I can do to help on that too, Raquel, please let me know.
Okay. Anybody else have anything they need to add or? Okay. Moving on to the COVID-19 update.
Yeah, Madam President, members of the board, we, as of last Thursday in our district, we had 31 students and 11 staff members that were diagnosed with COVID. Those numbers are significantly down. In my conversations with Department of Health and First District Health, it does appear that we believe we have reached the spike. We were told earlier that with Omicron, we would have what they call the toothpick or ice pick spike. It would be rapidly rising, rapidly down. Numbers across the state have drastically decreased. So we feel very, very confident about that. We still tend to take mitigation protocols as far as cleaning and everything else. And of course, on our base schools, we're still masking. But we are just encouraging everyone to be aware and cognizant of all that's going on, and we will continue to watch those numbers. Those numbers have taken their toll on us as a school system. It's very difficult to find substitute teachers. We've had a lot of staff that have missed work, but it's not just all COVID, guys. It's influenza A and B and stomach flu and whatever else. I myself am not very well today, but I tested and it's not COVID, guys. So there's just a lot of stuff going around. So hopefully as this begins to continue and we're seeing those low numbers continue, that our sub availability will begin to rise, and we'll be doing better that way. But in the meantime, we feel very confident about where we are at with COVID, and we'll continue to work with our professionals to make sure we're staying abreast of all of the information coming our way. And I'll stand for any questions any of you might have. Okay, thank you.
Okay. I think we can go ahead and move on to the item C, the CTE Projects Grants Award.
Thank you, Madam President. I'm really pleased to be here to share with you about the CTE Capital Projects grant funding that we just received. About 2 legislative sessions ago, our governor had put an initiative into increasing more career academies across the state and CTE opportunities for our students. And he had $30 million put into his budget. So Dr. Vollmer and I and some city representatives had gone down and testified in support of those dollars, seeing how we could increase that career and technical education in the Minot area. And at that point, those dollars were removed. So this last legislative session, then they proposed again $50 million for career and technical education centers and for facilities, and to again trying to increase those career and technical opportunities for students across the state. So we got together, Dr. Vollmer and myself, Jennifer Kraft from Adult Learning. We tried to look at all the partners, educational partners that we have in our community, and tried to just pull together just a draft proposal to go down and say, this could be a center for what we're working with. So once we got down to that grant proposal, we testified again in front of the Legislative Assembly, and they liked our proposal, but then the House Bill 15 kept hopping from one committee to the next. They just kept saying it doesn't belong in this committee, doesn't belong in this committee. So they kept switching it around, and to our surprise, it ended up in the Career and Technical Education budget, and it went from $50 million to $70 million. So, and then it passed. So with the funding secured and they were taking grant applications, we did put together a steering committee of workforce members, educational members. We visited with our outlying schools. We looked over all the workforce data, tried to find all the in-demand jobs and everything that are in our community that we could help with skills training for our area. And then we did surveys of our stakeholders until we kind of identified what areas that we could assist with using the Voya building, which is a small building in front of the Cognizant building that came with the purchase of the Cognizant building, plus the Cognizant building as a new high school and Magic City campus. How we could take all those facilities along with the other facilities in our community and secure some of these dollars. So we put in our proposal October 1st, and then there was a special legislative session in October, and the state decided that there needed more money into here. So the state used American Recovery Plan Act money and put in another $20 million for this, for shovel-ready projects that could be done by next year. So our grant was looked at for all of that, and the first money that was to go out was the $20 million of the ARPA dollars, and Minot Public Schools received a third of those $20 million. So at this time, we've received $6,666,666 of those funding. And so we're really pleased to get that so we can start our project. We had initially put in for $10 million. So now the next thing that they're going to look at are the federal dollars, which there's another $68 million that has to be approved by the federal level. But by the end of February, they're going to have it allocated out who would receive the remainder of those dollars. And then when the feds approve it all, then we are hoping that we would have secured the whole $10 million. So it is considered one-time funding, and it had to have a local match. So we did secure the local match with all of the things that we have going on. So. Any questions you may have on it, or anything anybody else would like to add?
Great addition to our district. And I don't know why I'm feeding back. Can you shut the mic? There, it seems better. I don't know why we're not in the same location. Long and the short of it is, this is a great opportunity for Minot Public Schools in the greater surrounding area, and it enhances the work that we're doing up here at the Cognizant building. So thank you, Pam, and your crew for the work that went in on that. We went down and testified, and what we heard every time we were there was, yeah, great idea, but I don't see that happening. I don't think there's any money. And then the legislature allocated more than originally planned. So small miracles, and we're very, very grateful. So thank you, Pam.
Just out of curiosity, what were some of those technical careers that you guys found in the community that could boost from that?
One of the big ones was our CDL training in our community. CDL training takes place, but there's not a registered facility in Minot that Job Service sends the people to. So we end up getting training every other month or so from Train ND out of Williston, or if we want to send people for CDL training, they have to go to Fargo or Grand Forks or Dickinson. So, I mean, we need something like that in Minot. So that was one of the bigger areas that we were focusing on. I can send you the whole proposal too, if you'd like. I mean, I'd be happy to share it with you. Just let me know your Gmail and I'll happy to share.
It would be interesting, but this is my last meeting, so it probably would fall better on other hands.
Pam, you maybe want to just send out that brief information you shared the other night. If you get it to Jody, Jody will make sure she gets it to the board.
Sure.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you.
And if I could ask Madam Vice President also to ask Pam, there's going to also be enhancements in the pipeline for teachers that might not stay. Is that correct?
I'm
Or
not sure what you're referring to.
okay, is there going to be enhancements? I guess in partnerships between the local universities also
Yes.
in terms of okay. I
Yes,
apologize
we are
for the
trying to
early
get more
confusion.
dual credit opportunities and partnerships with not only the colleges, but with Job Corps, with adult learning centers. So any educational facility. So like Dakota College of Botano will open the Minot CTE Center in the fall of 2023. So they're picking up like dental assistant and some other areas that our students can tap into as well.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Anybody else? Okay. Thank you very much, guys. Appreciate it. Okay. Moving on to the hard to fill positions.
That will be Kim Slotsby.
Madam Chair and board members, as exciting it is to listen to Pam talk about getting extra money for our district, it's not so exciting to hear about hard to fill positions. But when I reported last week to the Minot Public School Board, we had at that time 31 positions that we were going to need to fill before next school year. And most of those are considered hard to fill. In my world of high school and middle school, really everything is hard to fill. And at the elementary level, anything that's specialty music, counselor, special ed, those are all considered hard to fill. So I reported that we would be opening up positions early because we are in competition with, all of the area schools. And so we did that today. We opened up 10 positions. Many of those are multiple positions and multiple locations. For example, in special education, I think we have 7, positions, including one speech language pathologist. We have 2 counselor positions open, one at elementary, one at high school. So we wanted to get started on that early. We do have an internal transfer round in the Minot Public Schools. So once our staffing is complete, we do offer our teachers an opportunity to do an internal transfer for positions open in the district. So how do we hire early? We hire early by saying the location is yet to be determined. Because we know that if, just as an example, if a middle school ELA teacher wants to transfer to high school, we still need an ELA teacher to fill the position that's left open. So that's how we are advertising the positions as location to be determined. We will hold an internal transfer round, and then we will place all of the people that were hired early, just not sure where they would be. So with that, I would certainly answer any questions that you might have about where we're at.
I had a question and it slipped my mind. Does anybody else have any questions about have these positions been open for a little while? Have you had any applicants or any interest?
Actually, we just opened those today. They just got posted today, so they'll be posted for 2 weeks. And we do have a special board meeting on Thursday because today is actually the deadline for any retirements that would like to take the opportunity to earn the honorarium and the paid sick leave for teachers. So we do have a few more retirements that have come in since last Thursday's board meeting. So we will, after those positions or retirements have been approved on Thursday, we will post a couple more jobs.
The 31 positions, is that an abnormally higher rate for you guys? Because I know we have this the new high school coming in, and
Right.
that's going to be even more positions to fill.
Well, we don't think there'll be a lot more positions because we have 2 high schools right now. They're just split into a very, unusual configuration. So we will take all those teachers and place them in 2 9 through 12 high schools. I don't think it's an abnormal total number, but I would have, and I always say to Mrs. Lawson, the other assistant soup, I know it's not a race, but secondary is winning this year. We just happen to have, I think, more retirements. And I think that at the elementary level, they have probably more people leaving with a spouse that's transferring type situation. But we really have a lot of, veteran teachers that are leaving in the secondary area. 3 math teachers, that I'm just going to say that will be very difficult to find three math teachers. So just as an example, 2 counselors, 7 special ed teachers, all of those are, hard to find positions.
Okay, thank you for that.
Yeah, I just want to add on that too, that like in secondary, in general, in elementary, if you're elementary certified, you're elementary certified. But in secondary, there's different layers of certification for advanced science classes, for example, or earth science or life science. So sometimes those positions are just very, very difficult to do. Music positions, one of the positions is a music position, and rural schools teach music to K-12, and it's a little bit of everything, but here very case specific. So there is an impact. So we're grateful. We worked with MEA, and they understand the process of why we do this. And there still is the internal transfer round. It doesn't impede that, but it just makes sure that once that transfer round is done, we're ready to hit the ground running hiring. So thank you, Kim.
Okay, thank you. All right, I think we can go ahead and move on to the approval of minutes.
I motion to approve minutes.
I second.
I believe you're on mute, Scott.
Reed,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Tanner.
Yes. Okay. Any questions or comments on that part? Okay, running right along to the financials reports.
You should have in front of you the December 31st financial report. You can see our current general fund balance is at 8.3 million. Our building fund is at a minus 98. We will zero that out at some point towards the end of the year. We've gotten our first payment of impact aid money of 2.4. Nothing else spectacular to highlight there. I'll go through the bills really quickly. So our recycling, our busing, our fiber connection, mileage to board members who attended downtown meetings, and that's it. And then you should have the January report in front of you as well. And there's 297 million in our general and minus 98 in the building. And as far as bills in January, our busing and our fiber connection. And I don't have anything else to add to financials or bills. We'd need a motion to approve those, please.
I motion to approve the financial report.
I second that.
Smith,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Tanner.
Yes. Okay. All right, that moves us on to, is there any old business? You're muted.
No.
There we go. Sorry about that. We do have before that the election of president and vice president, Madam President. We have to, in your absence now, We have a couple of options here. One is that we can elect a president and vice president, or since we reorganized the board in July, we could just do a president for the, next, well, it's probably just one more meeting before our reorganizational meeting in July. So we'll open that up for discussion. And, we, of course, we want to say, Branda, thank you for your service. And being part of the board for this time. We wish you only the best as you go on to your next duty station. It's a great opportunity. We always love it when people come to Minot, and we hope that you'll come back someday. If not in the Air Force, just to come back and visit and check out this new high school and all of the other good things that are happening here.
I'm very excited for this new high school. I honestly, I wish I could stay here to see it through, but it's been very, very fun, very interesting. And I wish I could have seen you guys more, but it's been very fun.
COVID has made this tough. So board, I'll defer to you if you want to just elect the president, or if you want the president and vice president positions, it would be entirely up to you.
And this would be kind of between Miss Joy and Miss Ellen, correct?
And Mark Nemish, who is not here, but sometimes when you don't show up for a meeting, that's kind of where it gets bad. So you end up with a job, but entirely up to you.
Okay, so Miss Joy and Miss Ellen, you guys could decide to take on these things yourselves, or just kind of leave things as is and bring in, wait and see and bring in more members.
But you're going to need to have one person to be the president, because when you meet in May, otherwise you're not going to have anybody to preside over the meeting.
Right.
So
Okay.
you need to have at least a president. You can do the president and vice president now, but that is
okay. Okay, so and then somebody would make a motion to have one of these two take on the role as president.
I think the best, yes, I would start with president.
So
Okay.
I would like
Then go ahead, Ellen.
I would like to make a motion to nominate Joy Nicole Smith as president, if I can.
Yes,
You certainly can.
Sadly, Smith is going to have to second it because you're the president, Tanner. So
I second.
Roy has seconded.
Okay.
Then you should ask for any other nominations.
Does anybody present have any other nominations?
Then it would be time to vote.
Okay.
Reed,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Tanner.
Yes.
Now, the next question, Madam President, and you will remain president through this board meeting, Brenda, okay?
Yes.
But the next question would be, do you want to have a vice president appointed right now, or do you want to just keep it at president for the next meeting? And then the board again will reorganize and vote in a whole slate of officers in July.
Miss Ellen, would you be comfortable taking on any vice president duties? Or are you content sitting where you're at?
I'm content sitting where I'm at. I'll do what's needed, but my opinion is I think it might be wiser to wait until we have more board members, just to make it kind of a cleaner process.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
I can totally go with that. Okay, then we will just have just a president for now.
Okay, very good. That takes care of that issue then. Thank you very much. So you
All right.
can move on to now old business.
Okay. Is there any old business?
Nothing on our end.
All right. Moving on to new business.
The first would be the resignations, Madam President. I'm going to try to split these up in two separate categories because this is also retirement season. So the ones that I'm sharing with you are the ones that we have addressed since our last board meeting, but not any new resignations that have come in. We have Robbie Wershow. She is a teacher at Souris River Campus, ELA teacher, and she has announced her retirement from education. Colleen Hodenfeld, longtime math teacher at Central Campus, has announced her retirement, as has Marge Bubach, a longtime ELA teacher at Magic City Campus. Melissa Goodyjohn at North Plains has announced her retirement. She has also been a long-serving teacher in our district, and Doreen Harvey at Central Campus, a science teacher who's been with us, I think, about 10 or 15 years now, has announced her retirement. We have Cheyenne Metz at North Plains has announced her resignation, as has Brooke Perrell at North Plains, and Matt Swenson, who is an art teacher at Magic City Campus. Those three are not retirements. Those are resignations. And then the last is Luann Stair Seastrand. She is also a long time math teacher at Magic City Campus, and she has announced her retirement as well. So when Kim talks about those retirements and where they come in, it's the math positions especially tough to fill. Doreen in science, and she teaches that physical science level with freshmen and sophomores, and that's a tough position to fill as well. So we'll do our best to get them filled, but we want to thank all of them for their service to Minot Public Schools. That's all I have.
Okay. And we can go ahead and jump to the co-op agreement.
I can take that one, Madam President. So there were two changes on the agreement, one of them being the date, and then one of them being the wording photocopies was changed to electronic copies on paragraph mark number 1. Those are the only two changes in the agreement. And this is a cooperative agreement between the two districts. It's provided in North Dakota Century Code that this needs to exist, and it simply states that the base district is hiring the downtown district to provide all the educational services of their students. So we will need a motion to approve. And then, Brenda, are you dropping off your computer and stuff? Somebody needs to sign this agreement too at some point. So.
I saw that. I can drop off my stuff to Raquel. Your office is honestly just around the corner, if that's okay. And then as far as signing this, do you guys need me to sign this, or?
I just need someone. No, I mean, Joy can sign it when we have our next meeting too. That's fine.
Okay. That's
Yes.
good.
Would you prefer a wet signature, or does a digital signature work also?
We'll need a real in-person
wet.
signature.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Thank you. But we will need a motion to approve the agreement. But those are the only two changes.
I move to approve the cooperative agreement.
A second.
All right. Roll call vote. Reed.
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Tanner.
Yes. Okay. All right. And then the 2020-2021 audit.
Yeah, Madam Chairman, you should have a copy of the audit in the board packet with you. If I can, I'm going to try this. I don't know if I'm doing this right.
The arrow down on the bottom.
Yeah. So can you see my screen?
No, not yet.
Not yet.
Shoot. I thought I had
It's
it.
a little.
Oh, share. I see. No, it didn't let me. But anyway, if you have it in front of you, if you go to page 2, there's a paragraph titled Opinions, and I'm just going to read that to you real briefly. It's a short paragraph, and it says, in our opinion, the financial statements referred to above present fairly in all material respects the respective financial position of the governmental activities in each major fund of the Minot Air Force Base School District number 160 as of June 30, 2021, and the respective changes in financial position for the year then ended in accordance with the accounting principles generally accepted in the United States of America. And then if you also turn all the way back to page 24, There's another section where they weigh in on an opinion as far as whether we followed the guidelines of the major federal program impact aid that we have. And that paragraph, the very top paragraph on page 24 says, in our opinion, the Minot Air Force Base District number 160 complied in all material respects with the types of compliance requirements referred to above. It could have had a direct and material effect on each of its major federal programs for the year ended June 30, 2021. So in essence, this is a clean audit. Yeah, there are some findings that are there every single year based on the size of the entity. Minot Public gets it. Every school district in the state virtually gets it because we don't prepare our own financials. Our auditors do that for us. There are no issues with the audit. This is a credit to LaDawn Torgerson, my accounting supervisor. I give her all the credit in the world for it. She does a great job, and we have a clean audit every year. This is a clean audit, and I would recommend that you approve it. I'll answer any questions you might have as well, if I can. And again, if you have questions after the meeting or in the next month or two, you can certainly reach out to myself and LaDawn, or even our auditors if you want.
Okay. So a motion would be needed.
Yes.
Okay. I motion to approve Minot Air Force Base audit report.
I second.
Okay. Moved by Smith and seconded by Reed. Did you have any other discussion you wanted to do, Madam President?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
All right. Reed,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Tanner.
Yes.
And that puts us at the end of our agenda, Madam President.
It does. Okay. Well, thank you guys for a lovely last meeting. And if I don't run into you in the next short while, it was nice seeing you guys.
Brenda, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure to work with you. Greatly.
Yes, it has. Thank you.
It's been awesome.
My apologies for coming in so late. There was just
That's okay. It was nice seeing you for a few seconds.
He's like a blister. He shows up when the work is done.
yeah.
So
Thank you, Brenda.
Thanks.
Madam President, next board meeting is not until May 10th. And there will be some information coming out about graduation and also about our retirement banquet. So we'll get that out to you. Jody will take care of that. But that's all I have. So unless there is other business, I think you can adjourn your last meeting of the school board.
Okay. I do not have anything to add. Does anybody have anything? We're very good. Okay. Well, enjoy the rest of your Valentine's Day chocolate.
All right. Thank you. Bye now.
Thank you, guys.